Hi everyone, it's Georgia, and welcome to my little quiet time. I value my quiet time so much every single day. In fact, it's my first therapy because in my quiet time, I listen to what's happening inside of me, and I try to make meaning out of that. And then I connect to my definition of God. I connect to my experience of the Holy Spirit and all the other kinds of spiritual voices within me. And we all have them in our own unique way. So it's in my quiet time that I find out how God speaks to me, how the Spirit speaks to me. And if I actually don't take time for that, I never hear it. Because if you haven't noticed, it's very easy to get distracted by everything around us. So, with that being said, maybe we just take a second and get to that energy of the star in the heart. I listened to a profound video the other day about the heart, and I will link it in this below. So the fact that it was about just how much the heart as a physical presence in our bodies, how much it really holds and does. It's fascinating. For example, the magnetic resonance of the heart is about 8 feet around, projected out, compared to the brain, which is several feet. So when people say, "I'll hold you in my heart," I just want you to think about how powerful that is, or even that the Spirit of God is in our heart. That energy is physiologically real. So the power of the heart keeps coming back to me. And again, I'll be reading from the book The Star in My Heart by Joyce Rupp, Discovering Inner Wisdom. And her premise is that Sophia is the word assigned to the Holy Spirit in both in Greek mythology, and also you'll find it referenced in many goddess mythologies as well, and the Bible. I will need to wait the darkness out. Say it out. Pray it out. Eventually, I will know what kind of darkness it is by the effects that it has on my life and on those around me. If my experience of darkness ultimately brings life, hope, greater understanding, more courage, deeper trust, that kind of darkness is my friend. I believe that almost all of my darkness is life-giving if I have Sophia with me. Jessica Powers understood this when she wrote, "God sits on a chair of darkness in my soul." Sophia is my star to light up what seems to be an unbearable or impossible passage of life. I may not want to believe that darkness can be growthful because ache, loneliness, hurt, hollowness are not feelings that I enjoy yet. If I look back on my life to those dark times, I can see that I have or could have grown deeper and wiser from my experience of the darkness. I remember a passageway in my life years ago when I was far from home for the first time. I lived with people I didn't know. I taught school in a place I did not like. I felt a tremendous loneliness like a black cloud over me day after day. I felt sad and empty all the time. I could not imagine how this darkness would be good for me. All I wanted to do was run away from it. But I had accepted a teaching position and I felt responsibility to stay. This experience ended up being one of the best things that ever happened to me. I call those years of loneliness my island years, because it was then that I learned to live with myself. In several months of intense sadness, something in me nudged me to go to the woods regularly to ponder life. At first, when I went there, I felt only my loneliness. It was saying to me, spend time with yourself, don't run away. I began to see how afraid I was of myself, how fearful I was to look at myself. As I was drawn to go within, I discovered to my great surprise that there was goodness and beauty there. I learned, too, that I was not alone. I began sensing the companionship of God dwelling within me. I did not know Sophia then, but now I see that it was she who guided me during that dark time. It was she who led me through my fears and loneliness. It was Sophia who held my hand and drew me to her light within me. It was the call of the Spirit that took her to the woods, that spoke to her and said, spend time with me. Isn't it amazing how, and I've learned this over time, that those dark periods of life, I don't know, they really are our own inner call to go deeper, to learn to be with ourselves more comfortably, and to listen to that voice of Spirit move through our lives. It's always there, moving through our hearts. And if you just imagine that voice in the presence of Spirit, filling all of that heart, all of your heart, and that beautiful resonance of the heart. Even in the darkness. Have a good day.